people just want to jack off constantly. They're like, I tried to get my homework done, but then I just ended up masturbating for 8 hours.
What up, what's happening, everybody? My name is Charles Blades, and this is the Current Gaming Podcast, episode 27. I've said that the past 3 weeks, so I keep thinking it's episode 27, but this is finally episode 27.
Is it? Okay.
We are here. I don't know, somebody should probably look that up at one point, but this is episode 27. I am joined today by Drew Scheffler. How's it going, buddy?
Going great. Just woke up from a nap.
That's good. So you were scarfing down some meatballs?
Yeah, not even chewing them, just swallowing them whole.
That's how you gotta do it. Cheyenne Clark.
Hello.
And David. All right, I've recently. Dave Morgan's here too. I used to cut the podcast off when I would say peace at the end, or I would say pee, or I would say goodbye, or I would say farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, what have you. But Cheyenne does the fucking Richard Nixon peace sign.
Do this. Yeah.
And so I've been cutting it off after that.
Have you?
And I wanted to know how did the Richard Nixon peace sign gesture get into your lexicon of
it's not the Richard Nixon thing. It's like a cute thing you do.
It's something that Japanese girls do, so she thinks it's cute.
Oh, is that it?
Cute.
Oh,
Yeah.
That is
It's not this. It's like this.
Oh.
That's the Japanese selfie thing.
All right. So who knew Richard Nixon, Japanese
Yep.
cool girl.
That's where he got it.
Yeah.
Little known fact.
Fashion.
We have a good show for you this week. We're going to be talking about some Nintendo Switch stuff, some loot box stuff as always. But first, the biggest story of the week. That's the biggest story of the week. Yeah, without a doubt. Is EA, Electronic Arts, the most hated company in the world in 2012 and 11, I think. 12 and 13? I'm not sure.
12 and 13.
Bought Titanfall developer Respawn this weekend. So Respawn Entertainment was an independently owned developer who had been developing Titanfall for EA. So basically they were publishing the game and paying for it. They were bought for $450 after
$450.
$450.
Wait a minute.
That's a steal.
Cool. I could buy a company.
That's a steal.
Yeah.
$450 million after EA was giving right of first refusal after a Japanese, not sure. Nexon, they're called Nexon. Nexon tried to buy them. They're the people that they do fucking the fucking game they do. They do the online, always online Korean games kind of thing. They tried to buy them, but they lost out to EA, who, like, basically the way it works is, like, if anybody made an offer on Respawn, then EA has the right to match it, basically, and then they have to buy them. So yeah, that happened. What are we thinking about this news? I guess we'll start with David.
It's tragic. It's going to lead to their closure in the next 5 years. And
5 is an accelerated timeline.
I don't say that lightly, because we saw, and like Jason Schreier posted a really good timeline of what happened. They saw obviously the rumor is from the Naughty Dog people, right? Somebody was saying the rumor was that EA looked at Visceral's Star Wars game and then looked at Respawn's Star Wars game and were like, that one looks better. Close, buy Respawn. Like, that's probably a very simplified version of what happened, but if they let Respawn do their thing and make Titanfall 3 and make this Star Wars game the way that they were originally going to, I think this could be really great for both companies. People are saying that this gives Respawn some kind of, like, safety net, and I'm like, like, for right now, yeah, but, like, in the next 3 years when EA is like, hey, you're not delivering on these ridiculous promises that we're asking for, you have a year to do X, Y, and Z, and we're going to close you. That seems dangerous. Pretty common trend in EA's playbook now, and I just am really worried that they're going to take what Respawn is working on, bastardize it in their stupid EA way, and then fans are going to be like, I don't like this, it's not going to sell, it's not going to get the Metacritic bonuses, and then they're going to shut them down. That's my fear.
All right, Drew, I know you had some thoughts and feelings about this.
Yeah, I'm I'm just mostly concerned. I David cut out for a bit, so I don't know if I'm, doubling up on what he may or may not have said. I'm just concerned with the recent history of that EA's been doing with their games and the uprising of microtransactions, if you will, and how like literally every game that has their name is just littered with microtransactions. And I put out a tweet once they purchased them, wow, can't wait for Titanfall 3, where you have to buy loot boxes to get customization, pieces for your mech or your Titan to build your Titan. And like, it's a money hole. And I feel like a lot of their games are money holes for people that want to achieve like customization or even sometimes like boosts in the games. So, I thought Titanfall 2 was a fantastic game. I thought especially a huge step up from Titanfall 1. And I don't think Respawn even really needed EA. Like, I think that they showed, great success to go from 1 to 2. And if they were working on 3, they are, probably, and that they would have just kept learning from what they were doing. They don't need them to make those games.
Yeah.
Well, they need funding. That's the problem.
They need funding, yeah.
Which could have happened because they were already being published by EA.
Yeah,
who sabotaged them by releasing it right before Battlefront.
Yeah. Cheyenne, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of made me sad to hear this news. Like, immediately after they had closed Visceral, they're like, all right, Respawn, it's your turn to try. And, like, it just feels kind of shitty. And I'm afraid that anytime EA buys a company that it's like a death sentence. So, I have hope, but at the same time, I'm also afraid that this will lead to them having, Titanfall 3 is going to, it could become a shittier game. It could have those microtransactions or loot boxes or whatever, and it could lead to their demise.
2 is so good, man. Titanfall 2 is so good.
2 was great, yeah. I very much enjoyed the single player.
Like I said, I have hope. I think...
I
don't.
I try to have
Not
hope.
anymore. Not after this year.
I think this deal. So basically, they confirmed they're working on Titanfall 3 and a Star Wars game. Yeah. I think Titanfall 3. Hopefully, it has a single player campaign in it. I wouldn't be surprised if they.
If they're trying to go for the Metacritic.
The first.
I mean, why? They know what that brings to the in terms of critic reception and consumership and like people valuing
consumership.
That's not a word. But you know what I mean. Consumers being like, that's something I want to buy. Like, campaigns are...
they're important, but like at the same time, they can make a lot more money if they have a slightly more robust multiplayer set that includes a lot more microtransactions and stuff, and spend a lot less time on that. Like, that is I'm not saying that it's not gonna have a single player campaign, but I would not be shocked if it didn't. Also, them making a Star Wars game. So EA got the license to make Star Wars games in 2013. And since then, they've canceled one, put out a bunch of mobile garbage and stuff like that. And then Battlefront 1 and now Battlefront 2 is about to come out. When that game comes out, it's probably going to be 2020 probably at the earliest, I would say. If it in my head, it goes Titanfall 3, then whatever Star Wars game they're working on. So like at that point, EA's license for the Star Wars like franchise is like almost up. So like not almost up. It's like, so I don't know if they'll make another Star Wars game after that, or like I don't know what their path would be after that. Because I like, as much as it pains me to say, I doubt Titanfall. I mean, it did get shafted by being put in that like terrible window with Call of Duty and Battlefront 1 last year. But like, it's still like I don't see that franchise becoming like this runaway success.
I think with EA's marketing push.
They
own them, and then they want to actually sell it. They can make it. EA can make it sell. But is it going to be good? I don't know.
But like, what's the point of EA making it sell when they already have? Like, are they all they're going to do is first person shooters like at that publisher? Like, because they have DICE working on year in and year out Star Wars and then Battlefront or Battlefield. Like, are they going to add another first person shooter team? I kind of doubt that. Whereas the Star Wars game is rumored to be a third person action adventure kind of thing.
Well, so then in your narrative, like they just bought them so that they can kill them.
No, I think what they're gonna try to do is put Star Wars licensed games on them, and like I kind of feel like that train eventually has to get run into the ground. I don't know if you guys saw what. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not tired of Star Wars yet, but I mean, it's gonna happen. Or like,
I've been tired.
they just announced
Another trilogy.
another trilogy, and it's like I feel like
Wait.
Yeah.
Movies?
yeah,
Yes,
movies.
movies.
Fuck
sorry.
out of here! You kidding? What
Yeah.
with? So we've got the Rogue One trilogy, the new trilogy.
No, there's
and
not a
there's
Rogue One
another?
trilogy.
Yeah, it's just the
There's
one.
not a Rogue One trilogy. That's a standalone movie.
I thought it was the three.
But we also
standalone.
have the Han
They
Solo
are doing
movie.
3 standalone movies. Yes, they're not.
Get the
They're not
fuck
like
Yeah.
related to one of them.
That's like some Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It is.
Right?
That's what they're trying to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's the new thing to do in the
I mean,
film
that's
world
Disney.
now. It's
Like,
just-
you
just
think
gotta-
Star Wars is the
It is.
most profitable franchise in the world?
Currently, I bet it's Marvel.
I think it's Marvel.
Well, probably it's like League of Legends
know.
or something like that. If I really want to think about
Well.
it, but like,
I mean,
I don't
it's
know,
in
I mean,
terms of
the-
marketability.
The Force Awakens was the highest
Merc.
grossing film of all time, so.
I bet it's Star Wars.
most-
Think of all those toys. Think of all those action
Right.
figures.
Plus,
Just,
it's been going on since like the fucking 70s, so like imagine over time all of the
of
money
all
that they've-
time. Yes, it has to.
of all time.
Combined,
possible.
like all of its profits combined.
I mean, there's a way to
gotta
look this
be.
up.
Unless you're gonna say like Disney, but then,
Yeah,
like
like Disney
is
as a
Disney?
whole has
Everything.
made
All
more
right, so
money,
it goes.
but-
It goes here. It goes. Marvel is the top.
Okay.
Then Harry Potter.
oh,
Okay, yeah, Harry
then
Potter.
then James Bond.
really?
Then I mean, those have been around
Is this
forever.
just like talking about?
It's the highest grossing movie franchise of all time.
Okay, so it's
movie
just talking
franchise.
about like films.
Okay, did you want everything? I
I'm
don't know.
talking.
I
the-
don't-
merch,
yeah.
I'm talking toys. I'm talking.
Okay,
swag,
okay. All right. Well,
Games.
then it's Lord of the Rings. Then it's Star Wars.
No, I don't know. I think Star
don't
Wars is
know.
number one. Doesn't matter. What I'm trying
Yeah,
to
I
get
don't
at
know.
is these games are probably going to sell for a long, long time. But are EA going to
You
let
say
them
that? I don't know. I'm not
make
convinced.
their first-person shooter Star Wars game, or are they going to be like, "Cool, you've got a cool thing, now make it this"?
I think that's what I.
want.
I think this is kind of a death sentence for Visceral. There's that whole like meme of all the EA studios they've closed.
There's like 3 more now in that corpse pile.
and like Visceral, what EA made Visceral and then killed it. It's like a whole like, so like if you look at it that way, like they're not long for the world.
They're
this world.
fucked.
But
And
like,
it sucks 'cause they're really talented.
yeah, Titanfall was great. I'm not, yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
It's a bummer, dude.
This next story we have here is about loot boxes, our favorite topic. And Take-Two Interactive, who were the publisher of the 2K series, Grand Theft Auto, Borderlands, and whatnot, in an earnings call. Basically, I'm just going to summarize the bullet points. They said 33% of their revenue last quarter came from microtransactions and stuff like that. You're not a fan of that?
That's so much money.
And they plan in the fiscal year of 2019 to have two big marketable what the fuck am I trying to say, titles coming out. Obviously Red Dead, and then we're not 100% sure what the other one is.
What are there going to be Red
But
Dead
it,
in loot boxes now?
Yes. Yes.
100%. Not
gonna
loot
be
boxes.
called
They're gonna be called
Skin bags.
no, they won't be loot boxes. They'll be the shark cards, but like the cowboy
okay,
cowboy
yeah.
cards or something.
It'll be like
that.
poker chips.
I guess that makes
Yeah,
sense.
something
Well,
like
market poker chips and different colored poker chips.
Yeah. And he said they're gonna have two big things in fiscal year 2019. I assume that is Red Dead, and then probably Borderlands 3 would be the assumption.
That game's gonna be good. I like that. game.
All right.
The
We
main
know
Borderlands
nothing about
game
it, and you're already gonna say.
Well, the
it's
thing
gonna
I was-
be-
the
Who
thing I
was
was-
so good?
The thing I was thinking about it is like they ported 2 over to the Vita, which to mix
did they-
success, but
10 FPS, right?
maybe with Take-Two has been interested in bringing games over to the Switch. Maybe if Borderlands was on the Switch,
You on Switch?
Borderlands
See that I
Switch
could get
edition.
from.
that'd be pretty cool. But basically, I just wanted to. So 30% of their earnings last quarter,
That's-
in a quarter where they released NBA 2K18, were from microtransactions.
Like that also includes like shark cards for GTA. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
People still buy those.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. Of course. They
I
do.
don't
Oh,
know.
If I got
100%.
back into it, I would, because like I'm not gonna grind.
Yeah, like I can understand buying those, like if you're really into that game. But that's a lot of money.
Drew, what are so do we like? How do we take this? Like, you just 30% is a huge part of your business. Like, there's not it's not gonna go away. Like, is it? What do we want to see? What is the game plan that we need to have as consumers and as gamers? Do we want Do we want to die on this hill that microtransactions are terrible and every game that they're in is bad, or do we want to compromise and say, hey, we need to talk about how these things are implemented?
I mean, I think that I don't think microtransactions to an extent are that bad. I think that, like, for example, Rocket League, you can buy crates and you can buy keys, but you can also, like, they just added the thing for the Halloween event where you can earn those, what are they called, decoders?
Yeah, something like decryptors or something.
People that don't want to decryptors, they give people a way that don't want to spend money. I mean, even though it was only 5, it's still a way to open the loot boxes, and it everything that can be earned in the game versus like I have to pay for this or I have to grind 100 hours. Like, that's not what Rocket League's about. You don't have to grind for 100 hours. You can play literally one match, and you can get a loot box, and then you can buy the keys that are optional. It doesn't change anything about the game, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's all cosmetic. Games that are making where, like in the UK article, they're talking about progression of the online character and my player and stuff. Like, that matters to people that care about 2K, that play online with their my player. That matters. Like, if you're not rated a 94 player and you go to play online, you get fucking trounced, then you don't want to keep playing online. And that's where they get them. And I don't know, I guess, and this will never change, but like the big companies that are really pushing these microtransactions, I just wish there were more companies for the gamer. That's why I kind of like the smaller companies are nice, because I think they understand a little bit better. And like, these companies are like, oh, 30% of our revenue was from microtransactions. And it's not because people want to fucking buy them. It's because, if you want to enjoy the game, you have to. They don't really give you a whole lot of choice.
Well, here's the difference in that. Like, I kind of understand your argument, but like, the thing is, this company is publishing 2 games that one of them does microtransactions right, and one of them does them very wrong. I think GTA 5s are close to doing them wrong, but I think that with all of the content that they add to that
what's the game that does them right?
I was going to say GTA 5 online.
Oh.
I was going
to say GTA does them like, I think they do them terribly, and they're like...
Really?
Yeah, like, you can buy in-game things that make your character better. Like, you can buy better cars.
Yeah, I guess when I think...
And you can buy an apartment.
But, I mean, what I mean by that specifically, and I mean, Rocket League for sure does them right. There's nothing wrong with Rocket League, because they're all cosmetic.
Well, but, all right, hold on. Let me make the counter argument, because he was talking about the decryptors and saying, yeah, that's a good thing. That, like, you give people who don't want to spend money a chance to maybe open a loot box too. But isn't that like fucking like the drug dealer saying like your fucking first hit of crack is free? Like, you get a chance to like understand how this fucking system works.
The decryptors are stupid, especially that you can only get 3 of them, which is like an abysmal number, seeing as how most people are sitting on dozens and dozens of crates. They can't do anything with it. I
have a full page now.
Are into doing that. I'll take them. I'll turn them into keys.
I have an entire page of crates now.
It's not hard.
$60 more on keys.
Yeah, I guess if you wanted to put the time in, like you said, you could go to the trading market.
It's not hard in Rocket League to break into the market. You can trade up from just about anything. You can trade in items that you get from drops after games for keys.
But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not fucking Rockefeller and Carnegie where I got this fucking entrepreneurial spirit to fucking have to get these keys and shit.
It doesn't affect the game. The thing that really gets me is like NBAs being so shitty. Like,
NBAs are one of the worst I've ever seen.
Like, how do you fuck up? You've literally taken parts of the game out so that you can sell microtransactions. That is a fuck up. But when games do it in a way like Overwatch, where they're just cosmetic and they do add to the game's development time, and it does lead to free content being released, I think that that's a definite good thing. And we'll get to Overwatch's loot boxes,
let's talk about that right now. So okay, Jeff Kaplan gave an interview, and he talked about Cheyenne. If you want to read it, I'll let you do this topic.
Oh, I mean that's okay. Basically he's saying like during this discussion about loot boxes, you can have the really bad ones, and then he said really good and really evil, and that he'd like to think that Overwatch loot boxes are on the really good side. And I would agree that I like the way that Overwatch handles loot boxes. Like, you can buy them if you want. Especially during, like, events, you have that incentive to be like, oh, I want to get a lot of loot boxes and get these events because they're time limited. but at the same time, like, you're not obligated to buy them to get better at the game. They don't help you in any way. They're just cosmetic.
And I think the big point behind them is if you get duplicates in your loot boxes, that can then be turned into currency to buy specifically
Right.
what.
Yeah.
I think Overwatch has, bar none, the best loot box system of any AAA game.
Yeah,
I agree.
Would be my take. So yeah,
agreed, because
But-
they are so accessible through the tokens.
yeah. There's so
Right,
many.
you
There's
can
so many
buy
ways to buy things.
Plus, you
Yeah.
get like fucking 3 basically.
Yeah,
just by playing the stupid.
Yeah, by playing the like arcade games, you can get them every week,
Mhm.
and you get like once you play the game, like you're gonna have so much money. Like even during the events where like you want to get loot boxes and you want to get these specific event skins and like emotes and all of that, like you can buy those with money during the event. And I really like that you can buy last year's event skins and items
At like discounted rates
for,
and stuff like
yeah,
that.
for like the normal price instead of the inflated event price. So like
Mhm.
I really like all of the ways that they handle, like, you know.
Yeah,
I
they
have
they
all
don't
the
they do a
things.
good job of with the events, not like making like Halloween bucks, and that's the way you can get
Yeah.
the event skins or whatever. So I think that's a good.
Yeah.
One more story we have here is GTA 5 shipped over 85 million copies, which surpasses Wii Sports. As like probably there's like a debate on whether it's the highest selling game of all time because you can like throw like Tetris in there and stuff like that, and it's really weird. But like GTA for all intents and purposes is a fucking colossal hit.
It is.
Will this? All right. So my question is, when GTA 6 comes out, what are they gonna do with GTA 5? Are they gonna? They're gonna have to kill it, right? And then
Well, yeah.
my second thing is when Red Dead comes out, are they gonna have to kill GTA? Like, what goes on there?
Nah, they won't. That's such a different audience. Well, I don't know if it's a super different
Maybe
audience,
they
but
won't
it's
update it as much.
Yeah, that would okay.
But
yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
that they'd completely.
their resources will. They probably won't shut down the servers or anything for GTA 5
Yeah.
anytime soon. Even when GTA 6 comes out, it'll be like a Destiny 2. You can still play Destiny 1. It's just not getting.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Mhm.
It's fine if that's
Destiny 1, I think right now you can play like they have a playlist. Well, they don't support it, but like they bring back stuff. Like there's a playlist of like Big Team Rumble and stuff like that. And it's actually pretty cool. Drew, this you put the story in here, so if you want to talk about this, it was the CEO Gary Williams talked about Nintendo Switch. Basically, they're what's the word I'm looking for? The culling of their library. What's the word I'm looking for? The where you check to make sure something doesn't filtering. No, what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
So this is I put this one in there just because I felt like it was a pretty good follow up to what we talked about last week. FIFA, how they put out like this half-assed version of FIFA, and then they're like, well, if this doesn't sell or it's not selling, we don't want to support the Switch anymore.
Right.
good metric.
So
Yeah.
right. So anyways, like you said, CJ, the Gary Williams said that the opportunities are there, and like the title of the article I thought was nice. Kind of like a good quote. Nintendo does not exclude you; it just asks you to up your game. Now, I don't think that means that there aren't some shit games on the eShop, but I think that going forward for indie companies and stuff, or companies such as Nintendo saying like, hey, we have an audience here. We don't want you to, not put all your efforts into this. Like, if you want to sell on our system, there's opportunity. You just got to put the time in and make it work with what we have to offer for you.
No life of Black Tigers.
Well, and you look at, I brought it up last week too when we were talking about, you look at third parties and indies and how well they outsell other consoles. Like if they come to Switch,
Mhm.
and there's definitely people there to buy your games. You just have to do it that way. And hearing that somebody that's worked with Nintendo and what Nintendo kind of wants to hold their developers and publishers to as a standard is nice. And it's, like the PlayStation store has become muddled with garbage. Every week you get new games, and seems to be little to no filter. And while Steam has a lot of good games too, there's little to no filter on the games that come out there as well. So it's nice to, I want to say there's almost probably getting close to like 250, 300 games on this Switch eShop. And I know there's like 600 announced, right? So,
but if you like thinking that in terms of Steam, like on Steam, like 250 games get released every day.
More than that,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, probably. So it's it's just cool, and like I mean, they have opportunities in both physical and digital media. And I've already bought a couple of the digital games that are now getting physical editions. And if they do them anything like Nicholas does, I'd be all about buying them. Like Nicholas, hands down, does the best physical copies for
Who's
Switch
Nicholas?
games.
It's a
Binding of
publisher.
Isaac.
Oh, okay.
Binding of Isaac, and they're going to be doing what's that? I can't think of it. What's that other game made by the was it the
End is
was it
nigh.
Binding of Isaac? Yeah, they're going to be publishing that one too. But I don't know. They do like full color art books and instruction manuals. I've got keychains, and they just kind of go all out. It's nice.
Yeah, they're cool.
When the case is small and there's nothing else to do in there.
Yeah.
But,
So,
yeah, just
what do you guys think about the way? What is the word I'm looking for? Where
Vet?
you keep,
Oh,
yeah, the vetting process on the Switch, I guess.
Oh, okay.
What do you guys? How have you felt about it in the first? I guess what is it? 9 months ish of
I
the
don't have
console
any
being out.
complaints. I haven't seen anything on there that made me like what the fuck? What is this doing
Yeah.
here? It's not like
Not like on the PS4 where you're like, what
I
is
feel like
this? Why
it's
is
probably more
Black
intense than
Tiger.
what you'd see on even Sony's store, just because of the nature of Nintendo's weird keeping process for a lot of their content, as
Mhm.
far as
Mhm.
making sure it's friendly to user, fits within their standard and seal of quality bullshit, whatever. I doubt we're gonna see it. Like for sure, there's bad games on it. The worst one I can think of is probably that game out where it's called like Room in the Night Sky. You guys should look this up. This is making me rethink my whole argument.
What,
This
Room in
game
the
is
Night
fucking
Sky?
terrible. This game
that
is
game is bad.
shovelware that you would see on Steam Greenlight, and I can't believe it. Actually, this was like a launch title. So actually, I take back everything I said, remembering this
Because of Room in the Night Sky.
because of Room in the Night Sky. Because what in the
the
fuck
one
is this?
game?
And why is it on Switch? And who approved this? But is that such a bad thing that there's more opportunities for developers? No, I mean people are going to buy the games that bad. It's not. It's certainly
Well,
not
it's not
popping
necessarily
up on my home screen being
Well,
like, "Buy
that's
this
the
shitty
problem. Is like the curation. That's the fucking word I wanted.
Great.
Curation tools that they put in there. Whereas Sony's is like bar none the worst thing I can. If you are navigating and something isn't on the like main screen of the store and you have to do the wheel and like say I wanted to play fucking what's the game that starts with L? I'm trying to think.
Last of Us."
What I want to
Yeah,
play The Last of
not
Us.
that one.
I go to the fucking scroll wheel. It wouldn't have it on The Last of Us because that's a Sony first party game. It's a AAA game, but like some kind of indie game that maybe not that many people. You go to the wheel and you type in L and it's like Life of Black Tiger comes up and like just shit that is fucking garbage.
Yeah.
And like,
Have you ever tried to look for a new avatar for your
oh,
my
it's
God,
absurd.
Don't even get me
or a new
started.
theme?
Look at the themes are hilarious.
Who
The-
fucking approves this?
What
Why
was
are
the-
they
Bad.
fucking our
And you
shit
pay money
gold
for
on there?
those.
my favorite was the corn one that you had, Drew. That one was fantastic. It was just like a rotisserie, not a rotisserie corn, but like just just a cob of a corn, like being like drenched in like scalding butter. It was
Jesus.
very
Nice.
funny. That was a great one. But yeah, so it's nice to see Nintendo step up with the curation tools. Hopefully they don't become too draconian with that kind of stuff. We heard stuff about that on the Wii U and Wii. So yeah,
Step in the right direction without stepping in bounds of shittiness. Sony
Yes.
and Steam.
for sure. This next story is just a fun one. I thought it's about the new South Park game. Not the new South Park game. The South Park has a mobile game called Phone Destroyer. It's whatever. I downloaded it. I haven't played it at all. But there's this funny. If you've ever watched South Park, at the beginning of South Park, there's a black screen that comes up. It's like everything in this episode is like poorly voice acted or whatever. You shouldn't watch it or whatever. That at the beginning of the mobile game, it says this game contains both in-app purchases and the option to watch ads for rewards. To disable the ability to make in-app purchases, adjust your device settings. In-app purchases cost real money, and you are charged your account are charged to your account. And for those reasons, nobody should play this game, which I thought was very funny take on the whole microtransaction
Is that true? Are there in-app purchases?
Yeah, there really are. It's like
Yeah.
a. It's
Oh
like a
well, then
free-to-play.
you can make a joke about it, but you're still fucking doing it.
Yeah, but
Like,
like
that
I don't
makes
know.
me
It's like
somehow.
a free to play game. It's like a little different.
Sure.
There's like tiers. Somebody needs to make a Excel spreadsheet of the tiers in which way and the ways that microtransactions can harm or hinder your game.
I'm gonna make a brain meme. The like lighting up brain
Oh.
meme. It's
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
microtransactions that
Galactic
boost your
brain?
progress. And then the highest one be like
lots of headaches,
microtransactions
and then-
that prevent you from playing the game.
Yeah,
Like,
timers.
you don't have to play the game anymore. You can just pay money, so that's the highest one.
This next story we have here is apparently Niantic is making a Harry Potter game. End of story. Do we-
What? Literally,
they-
you cut
You
out,
were
and then all I
cut
heard was
out
end
for
Oh,
of
the
did
whole
I?
story.
sentence.
Oh no! And this
next one, end of story.
the next one.
Yeah, that's
end
all
of
I heard.
This next story is Niantic is making a Harry Potter game.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
the developer of Pokemon Go.
What are you gonna
I'm sure
catch?
that'll suck.
Fucking
What are you gonna catch? You gonna catch the snitch?
yeah,
You're gonna walk
You're
around and
You're gonna catch
Voldemort.
and you're just gonna
You're gonna
you're
catch
gonna cast spells.
Horcruxes.
and
You're gonna catch
find-
Horcruxes.
you're
That'd
gonna
be
catch a
cool.
bunch of
Artifacts of
tweens
some
running
sort?
around spouting broken Latin at each other in the middle of the
and
street.
iconic.
Dude, real talk. I don't really care about this game. I liked Pokemon Go for as much as everybody hated it. I liked
Everyone
it.
did for like
It was
a
a
minute.
cool
No, but
story.
like after everybody quit playing it, I wanted to keep playing it, but I didn't want to be that guy that just like keep playing it. I know people that still play Pokemon Go though.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I still play WoW. You don't have
Yeah.
to feel bad.
But
Good point.
they're
I'm gonna download it again right now.
That's the fucking.
there needs to be a bully game with a Harry Potter seal on it because that would be fucking rad.
Bully game?
Yeah, bully like the Rockstar.
Yeah, that
You're
would
game.
gonna bully people?
Oh, it's
I
a
maybe
Rockstar game Bully.
the Rockstar game Bully.
I don't think she's even heard of it. I think I tried to show it to
You're
her.
trash, dude. That game's
Uh-uh.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
But it
It's
needs to be
honestly
Harry
good.
Potter. I want that. Also, there was like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone PC game back in the day that I totally played and thought was awesome.
That game was great.
Unrelated.
I had it.
That game was
No.
fantastic, right?
Yeah.
All right.
No, the Harry Potter games were fucking great.
They were, and you had to. They had like not motion controls, so you were using a mouse, but you like had to make the spells as like part of the like combat system and stuff. It's very cool. I like that game. This last story we have here, it's gonna springboard us into a bigger topic. Springboard? That's not a saying anyone says, right?
Could have just gone with it,
All right.
Yeah.
but no.
Is about GameStop. GameStop.
GameStop.
GameStop might as well be.
Everybody mixes up GameStop and GameSpot. I just made up a new one, dude.
I mixed up GameStop and Smashburger.
Yeah,
They have
Yeah.
the same fucking
I was making
sauce.
the thumbnail for this episode, and like I typed in GameStop. I just wanted like a half screen because it's gonna be half of EA and Titanfall and half or GameStop, and like the one I picked like has GameStop, and the next to it is the Smashburger that I cropped out. But like they have the same logo. It's pretty funny. But yeah, they are launching a unlimited used games rental subscription. This week it tested out in Australia last month. It's called Power Pass, and basically you pay $60 up front, and for 6 months you can check out any used game you want. I'm not sure if it only works at one store or multiple stores. I'm not really sure how that all works, but you can check out any game you want, and then at the end of the 6 months, whatever game at all, like any used game you want, you can buy. That's yours. That's yours for forever. And I just kind of want to know what we think about this program. Will you use it? We can tell GameSpot stories, GameStop stories if we want. And then also I want to talk about used games in general. So Cheyenne, you can start.
Well, I hadn't heard of this before, so just hearing about it now, it sounds kind of cool. Like, so $60, do you pay? It doesn't say, like, for 6 months. So $60 covers your 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine you could probably get through quite a few games. So I feel like that's a pretty good value. So if you do, you know, buy used games a lot or whatever, I could absolutely see this being really useful and like save you some money. Probably. I don't know. I don't really buy used games that much, so I can't say if this is like a wonderful deal or not. But it sounds cool. Like I like the idea of not having to buy new games all the time, and like $60 is the price of one big new game. So like it seems I don't know.
Drew, what do you think about this?
I'm already thinking of possible ways that you could 27th, the infamous October 27th is going to come up again, right? So you know this is happening. You try to plan out your borrowed games, and you know there's going to be trade-ins, right? No matter what. Wolfenstein probably had somebody bring it back day one, right? Boom, slide in there, get that game.
Mm-hmm.
Worth it. But I mean, I don't know. So technically $10 a month, and you get to borrow any used game.
Yeah.
Assuming one at a time.
And then you get that at the end of it, you could like if like some other game just came out, you could feasibly.
That's what I just said.
Count that. Yeah.
That's what I just said.
And no, and you get to keep it forever.
Yay.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So like you can plan it out. So like if when Wolfenstein gets traded in day one, you can just be like, oh, that's my last.
Yeah.
Wait, you get to use that money to keep one game forever.
At the end, you're done. You get one.
Yeah, so
you could just on it like that.
Sounds like a.
That would be like the best way I would think to use it.
Yeah.
Or if like a new game came out and you weren't sure about it, wait a couple days or whatever, it comes out and you can play it. And that'll be nice.
You might just look into when that thing.
Yeah, if I do it, I'm a Power Up Rewards member anyways, just because I don't even use GameStop that often except get free games from them yesterday. But like I said, if Need for Speed came out, I want to try it even though it's not getting that great of reviews and stuff, and people are microtransactions and everything. Fuck it, I want to try it still. So wait a couple days and there you go. I'm still playing it within the week that it came out. That would be the biggest bonus for me, and I don't have to fork out $60 on one game that I'm just gonna end up having to sell back to them for $25.
Right.
David, what do you think?
So this is cool. The biggest problem for me is I really value being game releases, and I'd be worried that this would prevent me from doing that with games I was really anticipating.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I buy games that I really want, so on the moment it comes out, but I just can't imagine I would use this unless I was really looking for something to. Oh, I fucking want to play a game. I don't know what. Here's a used game, but I just don't see that happening to me enough to. We're in it. I think it's a good enough system, and it's cool that you get to keep one at the end, but I would probably personally just keep using the 7-day trade-ins. So if I wanted to play Wolfenstein or something and I didn't want to buy it, I would now I would probably just do that and give it back.
So people if they don't know, GameStop has a policy where you can return any used game after 7 days. You can just so feasibly you can buy a game, beat it, and return it.
Yeah, no questions asked.
What a lot of people do.
Isn't that why they're doing this though? They're trying to.
Yeah, they're trying to offset kind of that cost.
They're not gonna. I assume they're not gonna stop doing that because that's a big part of getting people into your store, and that's important. GameStop sucks, but it's okay because they're gonna go under soon.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a move in not in anticipation of that, but we've seen over the past however many years the toys and stuff like that be front and center at GameStop. They're not really that much of a game.
Funko Pop.
Funko Pops and shit like that.
Terrible. And it's any system that takes money away from the economy of video game markets, just go fuck yourself. It might be better for saving some money, but if you're literally just undercutting developers, then everyone's why are games so expensive? Why are there microtransactions? I don't know, maybe it's because probably 20 to 30% of the cost that would be made is going to fucking GameStop and other shitty fucking game pandering companies.
Yeah, so this is kind of what I wanted to talk about, how you guys view used games in general. So I know I bought used games. I think everybody's probably bought used games at some point.
Yeah, of course. Everybody's
gone to GameStop and I traded in game. I can't. What's the last game I traded in? Probably.
Traded in Best Buy though.
Yeah, I do trade it. It's the same thing though.
Yeah.
What's the last game I traded in? That's gonna bother me. I'll think about that. Let me ponder on this. But trading in games and being part of that used game economy in general, as David said, in some way, if you look at it from a pure number standpoint, if a company sells a game and then you trade it in, then the 5 other people that buy it and trade it in after you then no longer spent money to support that developer, and that publisher is no longer getting paid off that game. And if you wanted a sequel for that game, maybe they look at that stuff and say, hey, everybody traded in this game, there's no point in us creating a sequel because we didn't make that much money off it, which is probably another reason why we've seen an games of service kind of escalation away from the whole single player. Because if you can, like, if that Visceral Star Wars game come out, I'm sure they spent 5 years making the engine. Well, they didn't make the engine, but they spent 5 years doing whatever on it, and then you play it, you blow through it in a week and a half and trade it in, and like then they never see any more sales off that game. That from like 4 or 5 people. So
Yep.
That's my biggest problem with games. I try to buy new as much as I can, and I think you want to know what the most fucked up thing of the games of service microtransaction shit that's happened over the past few years is that Microsoft was right. When they came out with the Xbox One, their plan was golden. They fucked up. Why did they shift course? They were talking about if I bought a game online, I could like share it with David online, like all of it, and like, yeah, you can just log in and like you'll set it, and it was so cool. And they just abandoned it all. And if they would have stuck to their guns.
Doesn't PS4 have that where like you can share play a game?
Yeah, but like that, like share play works. Like I think it's like you stream it.
It's like a shitty stream. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
well, yeah, but you can play games together, like games that you don't own.
But like what the Microsoft one was doing was saying, hey, like I have Wolfenstein Digital or whatever, so I would lock myself out of it and then give it to David, and David could download it and like wholly play it by himself without my interference at all.
What does that benefit them? How does that fix this?
Because then like you wouldn't have people like, I mean, if I'm doing that with you, you're my trusted friend. But if I trade in a game to GameStop, it can get sold to any who the fuck ever. Any Betsy what's that saying? Any Johnny Nancy and Sue? What's that saying?
Sure.
Trying to add these
quickest fix for this whole problem though, and this is gonna sound really shitty, but like, I honestly think that this should happen, is just stop making physical games. Only digital. Like,
they can't do that.
Senua's Sacrifice, all that money went straight to fucking
100%, but like Call of Duty, like 80% of their sales are physical, I would say. They can't just not.
Or the only thing offset this like urge.
Offset?
This is
that was a Migos joke.
Oh.
Drew understood. He smiled.
Is to just wait it out and let these console generations slow down. Let game development costs lower, because as technology gets better, and graphics become more close to the ceiling that we're gonna end up seeing, games will be cheaper to make.
No,
and if you want to
make the opposite, if technology advances, games get harder or more expensive to make.
Only if you're trying to like.
I mean, they are. That's the point. That's how AAA games work, bro. I'm sorry.
You need to stop. I'm like so annoyed. If you told me, hey, a lot of really good games are gonna get made really quickly in the next 5 years, but they're not gonna look any better than Uncharted 4 for the next 5 years. Like, that is, if they would just slow the fuck down and stop trying to like graphic whore everything to the max.
Well, it's not even graphics. It's like open worlds take a long time to build, and dialogue trees and stuff like that.
But it goes faster once the systems have already been developed and used and practiced.
I mean, yeah, but
these stories you hear of games being really expensive to make is, oh, we had to like develop a whole new engine to get this one fucking part of the game to work. If we could just fine tune what we already have instead of trying to reinvent the fucking wheel every year, it's just and we're going in that direction. If we try to hybrid content,
if we try to fine tune everything we have, then everybody yells, "Oh, video games just have sequelitis," and there's no innovation ever, and like that, like you run into on either side of the road.
Because I like single player games, man. I like a nice little 6 to 7 hour game. That's a nice little. Do I want to pay $60 for it though? Not really. So I'm part of the problem. Hellblade is only $40.
I think it's 30, but that's what I'm saying. Like Hellblade is like a
perfect. They need to double A games, dude.
What we
need.
I was just saying Hellblade's digital only.
Yeah.
It's like that. We need more of that. I think we'll see more of that on the side. Those will become like the way that the indie renaissance happened in response to like Brown and Bloom or shooters being oversaturated. I think we'll see more of these. I mean, they technically
are undersaturated.
Or I just thought about this. Let me throw you out this idea. The idea of
Undersaturated. That was funny.
the idea of getting rid of the physical media. Now, we all know this. I collect games. I like to have the physical media. But pointing this out, that with PlayerUnknown, when that comes out, as well as Cuphead's physical release, there's no disc, but just a download
code.
Mm-hmm.
Same price.
Perfect.
So there's no way to return that to anybody. You can't return a download code.
Yep.
Well, here, let me
never.
Verification codes.
I'll point out the problem. It could be like PC keys. Like it could be the same thing like that. The problem with that is like you get people that come in to buy the game and they don't understand. Like people, like the average person that's going in to buy Call of Duty or the average person that's going in to buy Grand Theft Auto doesn't understand that. Hey, like people already get mad enough when you go in to buy a game, then you come home and you have to download the patch. Like imagine if you told people, hey, you came and bought the game. There's literally nothing in the case, and you have to download the whole game. People would be like, "What the fuck? Why did I even go there?"
Well then,
for those type of people, you just tell them to fuck off and like, stay in tune
We are
with everything.
definitely the vocal minority.
You know, I mean, all the people buying Call of Duty that want it physical and stuff. Like, yeah, I bought Call of Duty, but you know, and I collect physical media. But if you were to tell me, you know, tomorrow every no more discs. Tomorrow it's all digital download codes. We're still sell you physical copies. Like, you know, you could get the case, same price. I'd be about that. Like, it's all about the aesthetic of seeing the cases, and you know, a little bit of OCD, being in alphabetical order, every game system, it's all split up. You know, to me, I like looking at that, but I don't care if it's digital or not. So, like, if people were really pissed off, like if there was no disc.
What if we just replace the discs with something else that is cost the same, like
floppy disks, like amiibos?
Give them something,
like amiibos.
Here's a cool little statue. It's like 4 inches tall. That's cool. Whatever. Sure. Can't trade that in. You can't do that for the game. But it's something. And I don't know. I feel like I'm onto something here. Like you can do anything.
I'm telling you, know, who was onto something. Fucking what the fuck's his name? They got ran out of Dodge when the Xbox One fucked up.
Oh, when they were like,
they were onto something, man. There was an idea there.
We needed that, and now people were so mad, and Sony made the big hullabaloo. You can give games to your friends,
which they killed. I don't like.
It
from
doesn't
a marketing
matter because we don't make our
perspective.
games off of software, so we're the fucking good guys apparently. Like
from the PR perspective, I understand that was a good move. The video.
But from like a business perspective,
not even from business, from a consumer perspective. And like, if you want a way to make games cheaper, if all games were all digital, like they might. That's another way I think it might happen.
That'll be like $40.
But like then there's a theory that like, well, fucking Sony's still a publicly traded company. There's no incentive for them to lower the price if people are gonna buy it digitally anyway. So I don't know. There's a lot of ideas behind that stuff. But that's it for the news of the week. What we're gonna talk about next is I wanted to get David and Drew, because you guys have both finished Mario Odyssey. We're bringing back which is better, but we're doing which is better of the 3D Mario games.
Okay.
So there's Odyssey, Galaxy 2, Galaxy 1. I thought about just combining Galaxy 2 and Galaxy 1. Would you guys want to do that or no?
It's fine. I think 2 is better.
All right. So there's Odyssey, Galaxy, Sunshine, and 64. Put them in order.
Drew. Sunshine's at the bottom.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Sunshine's at the bottom for both. Then what's 3?
What were the other ones?
64, Galaxy, and Odyssey.
Galaxy's next.
64 Odyssey.
Yeah.
That's the definitive list.
Like Odyssey's the best 3D Mario.
Yes, I think that's the.
All right.
Wow, we agreed on that.
Wow, that was easy.
That was very boring. All right, well.
Sorry.
So Odyssey's better than 64.
About it if you want.
Yeah.
I think so.
In every way.
The movement isn't quite as good, but it's close, and it's so much bigger and more.
Yeah.
Other than that.
Yeah, I've been playing it. I just got the New Donk City, and that game's a fucking blast, dude.
Oh, hold on. CJ is doing this game. He's doing it so wrong. David, please tell this guy.
Oh, I'm just getting the moves and then moving along.
To stop listening to podcasts while he's playing this game.
I've been doing that too.
Oh,
I have not listened to the game at all. Like besides the first few levels.
I said especially in New Donk.
Yeah, what the fuck? You gotta stop at least for the finale of that world and just let it happen.
You have to listen to that.
But no, listen to it. It's good. And also, are you just like speedrunning it, like going?
I'm not speedrunning. Like I'll get like. Wait, here the way I've been
No,
doing it.
But I think that's the way to do it because then you have plenty to come back to in the post game.
The way I don't know if I'm gonna do
He's
that
not
either.
coming back. He's just finishing it.
Like I'll come back, but like I'm not like I'll probably get. I'd say so. If you need 20 moons to get off of my, I'd probably get like 25, 30. Is my I think I'm at like 82 or something like that now. Right now, I'm not 100% sure.
I am at 678.
All right. So
Probably gonna not get many.
All right.
more.
So here's the thing. There's 880 moons in the game.
Yeah.
But then you can buy up to 990.
Yeah.
All right.
You can buy
That's where I got the number from.
Okay. All right. Cool. I just did not know.
Just if you're like, I don't feel like getting these, I just want to unlock the last level. You can just buy, which is cool. It's
Yeah.
options.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I've been playing Mario. Also finished Wolfenstein. I know
spoilers cast after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. We're gonna do a spoilers cast or spoiler cast. Spoilers cast. I don't like that.
How hard is that game?
It's hard.
Okay, then
I bet you
will
just
not be
suck.
playing it. I will
It's
be
not that
watching
I
it.
just suck. It really isn't.
I bet I'll be fine.
The game is hard.
Yeah, you'll probably be okay.
Yeah, you
I
can
mean,
beat it. It took me.
like-
I'd say it took me 8 hours, 9 hours. There's a game clock in it, but it's hard.
It's 9 or 10 hours.
It's
Is that
hard.
including or
But it's-
excluding cutscenes?
That's including cutscenes. Like total. It's hard.
Like cutscenes are a little long,
Yeah, they
but
are.
yeah.
But I really Drew played it too. I really enjoyed it.
Good.
I have some problems. I'm just gonna talk mechanically. With the hit detection is like I don't know. I didn't love that.
In hit detection, like the hitboxes aren't good.
No, that's not what I meant. Yeah. The like if
Hit markers.
if you hit markers, yeah. Isn't
I could
good.
patch that. I can't believe that's not in.
And it's not. It doesn't break the game, but like when you get to a hard part and then that's why you die or something like that, it's very
I don't
frustrating.
know where you're getting shot.
Yeah. Or you know where, but like there's nothing like the controller doesn't vibrate in a way that like I don't know how other games do it or how it all works, but like other games do it differently to where I know where I'm getting hit from.
Is the game incentivized going fast or like hanging back? And
I think it incentivizes stealth.
Both. I think it does both.
I think
Yeah.
it's not bad when you break stealth. Like I think that transition is like better than any game I've seen thus far, probably. But I think, at least for me, because it was so hard, when I managed to stealth level, I was very happy. And you killed the alarm guards or whatever. It was very nice. There's also like end game content to it, which I thought was fucking really rad. I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, that's cool! Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play it at all, but it exists.
Yeah,
So I was like, that's really cool. But and then also, what was the other one other complaint I had about it? Oh, the end credits. The song they play for the end credits is so bad. Like
Really?
I was like,
End
what
credits
the
songs are always
fuck is
bad.
this? No, there's some cool ones out there,
My
but
best end credits this year is Lost Legacy.
True.
yeah, those were awesome
Oh.
with the like cartoons or
So
whatever.
cute.
Oh,
Yes,
but-
I love them.
The end credits were like unbelievably bad. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, how did this get through? Like, really? I for real thought I was watching like a fan film or something. I was like, what the fuck is
I'm not
this?
gonna lie. When it started, I was like, okay. I muted my TV and I just went about doing some other stuff.
It's like
I think I'm
actively
done.
horrible.
What do they play? Like we didn't
You'll
start the
see.
fire. or
You'll
something?
see. You'll see. You'll
Oh.
see. You'll see.
Is it worse than that?
Oh, there's also like some I don't know, that's story stuff. I don't want to get into that. There's some cool stuff that goes on. Those are my biggest complaints about it though. Also there's like later on in the game you get the option of 3 different abilities, and the ability I chose is like the best stealth ability, but like there's like level navigation stuff that are tied to the abilities, and mine is by far the worst for that. Because you cannot figure. I could not. There was one part where I had to look it up on YouTube because I could not figure. I saw how the other 2 abilities worked to get through the level, but I could not figure out how my ability was supposed to get through the level, and like I had to look it up.
That there are level specific solutions to
Yeah. But like, and
abilities. I like that.
I had to look it up, and like what I looked up, there was immediately like a fucking GameFAQs post that had like multiple entries. Like other people had this problem. It was not just me. So
Gotcha.
yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I guess. Drew, what have you been playing? You've been playing Wolfenstein, but you also been playing Call of Duty.
Yeah. I figured I would give the new Call of Duty a chance. I know I've said in the past podcast about I'm a sucker for like historical shooters, so I wanted to give this one a chance.
Mm-hmm.
About halfway through the campaign, so far it seems to be a little bit longer than what's been in the past, and like levels themselves are longer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how many missions are exactly, but my biggest gripe about it is I absolutely fucking hate like the voice actor for the main, like the guy that you play.
Oh, really?
Like if you could think of like a stereotypical young soldier in World War II, like this guy's it. He's just like, Paul and me used to play football, and now I'm shooting Nazis. Like, okay, well,
That sucks.
good story. Yeah, like I mean, I didn't come to the table thinking this was gonna be like, oh, amazing, fantastic. I don't think Call of Duty games have ever been, the best thing ever. But it's better than it has been the past few years. I'm enjoying this single player. From a couple of reviews I read, I heard that like in a somber way, kind of like,
Oh, no.
I don't know, they said it's like one of the better endings to a single player like war game, and then don't make me think too often, but it says like kind of like a thinking. I mean, I should get to that. I was supposed to play more this morning, I guess. We'll see. I'll let you know. But I was supposed to play more today, and I just took a nap. But the zombies are cool. The zombies are like everyone always cares about that.
I've never played Nazi
more
zombies.
aggressive.
Dude, you're trash. In World War and
really?
Call of Duty World at War, they were fucking fire. I love.
Were they
well,
in
they
World
have,
War?
like-
Yeah,
Maybe I
Yeah,
did.
that was the first. That was
I
the
played
first
the
game
shit out
of
of that game. I just don't remember.
Dude, that was like I fucking spent so much time on that shit. So much time.
So the zombies, they have like different types of zombies. They have different abilities. There's like a boss, which is made of the dead corpses of other zombies, and he reminds me of what's the guy's name from Resident Evil 4, like in size, just like the gigantic guy or whatever.
I think it's just giant in Spanish, but I
Yeah, I think you're right. So I mean, it's just stuff like that. There's more zombies. I just can't get over how like I like playing Rainbow Six Siege and like Battlefield. I like playing that. I just can't get over how fast Call of Duty is.
Oh,
his
compared
name
to
is
yeah.
El Gigante. That's right.
That's the giant.
Yeah, okay. It's just like it's a giant zombie made of zombie corpses. So, but yeah, Call of Duty is like so fast, and I'm still getting used to that. I like ones are a little bit more slow in Fortnite. So
Yeah, Fortnite.
That's
Me and
what I
Drew
feel
got another
about it
turkey
right now.
sandwich this morning. Very happy with
I'm
that.
getting a lot of turkey sandwiches.
Dude, we've been like pop, 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 all about it. You
My
guys.
first solo turkey sandwich.
Oh yeah, I've never done that. I've never done that in a battle royale game. I've made it to like I've gotten second in Fortnite, and I was like third or fourth in PUBG. And that must be a great feeling that you did it all yourself.
The friends his video.
Yeah.
Moving on.
But David, what have you been playing?
So I reviewed Doom on Switch for We Got This Covered. Today morning, I wrote my review. And I gave it a middling score of a 6, which I think this review is the one that made me realize how dumb scores are. I was like,
Really?
because this is such a complicated game to review. Because, and I made this argument to Cheyenne, I was like, when music gets a reissue, you don't rate the album. You know the album is good or bad. You rate like the packaging, what bonuses it comes with, what B-sides it comes with, right? Like you're rating the
If it
addition.
got translated
The
from
reissue.
stereo or mono to stereo or something.
Yeah, like Radiohead's Kid A remaster. Everybody's like, this is a great remaster. It comes with a lot of bonus shit. Good score. Doom port and game ports. I didn't review the game. I know the game is good. I strictly reviewed the port on Switch because I feel like that's fair. I feel like as a consumer, I would want to know how that compares to the other versions of the game, right? This is my first review I've ever had that was like kind of high profile, so I was getting some comments, and they were like, "Oh, you fucking reviewed it in handheld mode. You should have done it in docked mode." And I was like, "Well," that kind of made me like a little. I got a little anxious about it. I've never had that experience before. But the more I thought about it, I stand by what I said in that I played almost primarily in handheld mode, because my argument, and I should say, if you only own a Switch and you cannot play this game anywhere else, 100% buy. It's a great game. It's a great game. But if you do own a PS4 or an Xbox One or a PC and you can play Switch there, the real draw here is
You can play
handheld
Switch
mode.
on your PS4?
Huh?
You can play your
Did I
Switch
say
on
it
the
again?
P-
Doom.
Yeah, you keep saying
Fuck,
Switch.
I keep
instead
saying
of
Switch
Doom.
instead of Doom. If you can play Doom somewhere else, the main draw here is the portability, right? So I played it in portable mode, handheld mode. It played fine. I felt like the Joy-Cons were a little weird for a first-person shooter because the nubs are kind of shallow in how they're placed, but it worked okay. I mean, the sensitivity was fine, the default stuff. The game,
Is there any motion controls?
the only motion control is like motion control for a finishing kill. I was
Okay.
really hoping for some gyro aim. Like Splatoon did it so well. I don't know why they didn't include it.
I hate gyro aiming. Am
I
I
love
alone?
it. It's the
Yeah, wouldn't that
closest
make
to
it
a
really
mouse
hard?
you can get.
I
Huh?
hate. Did you do it in Zelda?
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah! All the time. It's so useful.
That's so gross.
No, it's so
Anyway,
perfect.
Whatever.
But it's something with the TSAA, which is like the anti-aliasing thing you use. The
Stop them
dynamic
getting on flights.
resolution. Huh?
Mhm.
Stopping them from getting on flights.
Yeah.
Yep.
TSA. And the just the size of the screen, I thought it would be fine, but it's so blurry. And you can go on my review and look at my one screenshot at the bottom from the in-game footage. It's even standing still, it's so blurry, and I don't know why. I think it is TSAA. Fuck, now you've got me saying. And the resolution is like, it's supposed to be 720, but it does not look like it. And and I know that this is necessary to get it running on the Switch, and it's 30 FPS, which is fine. I'm not gonna get up in arms about that, but there are still some frame drops, and it slows the game down because I think it's tied to the CPU kind of struggling when the whole game has to chug to kind of catch up. And it doesn't happen that often, but the couple times it did happen in my playtime, it was pretty noticeable.
It's like when you're fighting like a bunch
It's
of
like a
demons,
big-
which
yeah, it's like a-
happen,
it's
which
like a-
happens constantly in that game.
Yeah, but and surprisingly,
Yeah.
this did not happen every time it was here. But the couple times it did happen, I was like, whoa, this is like slow mo.
Okay.
Mostly in the
Did you
beginning
have,
of the game.
Sound cut out at all?
I didn't have any of the audio issues. I have heard people having some audio
Mhm.
problems with the game. I didn't have any kind of that problem. It
That's
sounded
good.
okay. It sounded lower bit rate than that might just be a placebo, but the music sounded a little muffled. I don't know why. I was wearing yeah, I like hearing those high fidelity blast beats.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I gave it a middling score because the game, like, it looks bad even on like handheld mode. Like, this game deserves better, and this was my argument, is that not everybody was so excited for third-party support for the Switch, and I am too. It's great, but I don't think every game belongs on the Switch. I think Doom is more of a sit down, it's a campaign kind of action driven game. It's not something that not something I see myself playing in little chunks on the go. Not like a Zelda or a Mario or like a side scroller. It's very much a game that I think benefits from sitting down and enjoying it in a high fidelity setting. And that's just my opinion. I don't think this is an
I mean,
objective,
yeah,
and this
that's
is
what
why I
we're
think
doing. That's what's going on right now.
this is why I think
Yeah.
scores are so stupid, because it's what you value. Do you value the fidelity of the game and the frame rate and the performance and the controls, or do you really value being on the go that much? And if you do, this is definitely for you.
Like, I would understand, like, but you don't have kids or something like that where you have to be, like, constantly going to and from stuff,
Right, and that's-
like,
I
you
mean-
can't be glued to your TV and stuff like that.
Right. And if you did, I mean, even there are better games to play on the go than Doom. And it just doesn't fit for me. It doesn't mesh with the console's kind of library and what it's trying to sell itself on, which is like this kind of pick up and go, kind of pick up and play gaming experience. Doom is such a focused, like, you got to be focused in on it. It's not something that you're just like pausing and like picking up and putting down in the same way that you would like a Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, or even a Mario Kart. And it just benefits more from the console experience. And I was getting some flack for comparing it to PS4 and PC, which
Yeah,
I think
what
is
are you
really
supposed to do?
silly,
Yeah.
because everyone is doing it. That's just
Yeah.
what you do. You inform the consumer of other options. And compared to those versions, this is by far the worst one in both performance and graphical fidelity and controls, I would say. Nothing beats having either an analog trigger and the feeling of a DualShock or a PC mouse and keyboard for. So if you value being on the go that much, or the Switch is your only,
You're
means of
saying
playing
the on the go aspect doesn't outweigh the
no,
loss. And
yes,
everything
that's what I'm
else.
saying. For me personally, no, it does not. It does not make it all worth it. It did not need to be put on the Switch. What they did is great, and I think that they did a good job porting it. But it just, I don't know why. Like I don't know. It's cool, but it's not for me.
Yeah, it's you hit the nail on the head when you said I haven't played it at all, but you hit the nail on the head when you said, and everybody, the common refrain this year has been, man, I like this game, I wish it was on Switch. And like Doom is
Not
like
everything
This is
needs
like
to
the
be-
only one where it's
yeah.
like, why?
right. It just doesn't fit. And what I was saying to Cheyenne was, and this would take a lot of time and effort, and not
yeah.
probably worth it. What I really would have liked is like a suit. Like if you're gonna take it down in graphics, take it way down, par it down to like a cool ass, like dark, gritty, low poly, low res, traditional Doom look, and make it run really well, and add some kind of Switch gyro controls. Make it a port for the Switch instead of trimming down the main game to fit there. Make it a Switch version,
Yeah.
Make it in some way, make it work, and give me a reason to want to play it on the Switch other than the fact that it's a hybrid console.
Is there amiibo support?
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's
Get
amiibo.
cool even amiibo.
But do you know what I'm saying? Even with
Yeah.
FIFA, how I was saying, make it like cell shaded, make the graphics different, but make them easier to run.
But
And
then
make
you
the
run
game...
into the I mean you're not wrong, but then you run into the Maddens on Wii and shit like that, where like the game
Yeah,
was
you're
like
right.
fucking like fathead mode and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, like
But even
you
that I
could
would argue
change
is a
the way
better-
it looks, but you still gotta put time into it and stuff.
It does
Right.
take
Make it
a lot.
good
Yeah, that would
game.
be redoing the assets. I know that's like an impossible
It's
ask,
not actually gonna happen.
but I think it'd be neat. And I it's just
Also,
it feels gimp.
my bad.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Rocket League comes out Tuesday.
Just want to say,
Unrelated.
with
Same company's
it is.
porting that as Doom.
we'll let you know.
Sure.
But no, I just want to say that reviewing it mostly in handheld. I mean, I'm sure we've all read the stats and stuff about 30% of people play it fully in handheld mode.
Yeah.
And then like the in between is if you take the in between and fully handheld, that far outweighs like people that only play it docked.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, so what are people going to see it mostly on is handheld mode? So
Right.
it's good that you reviewed it solely in that, because that's what majority of
I-
Switch owners.
I felt like that
That's
was
what
the
the Switch
appeal,
is
right?
for,
That's
yeah.
why you would buy,
Yeah.
assuming you own other consoles. That's why you would buy it on the Switch, and that was my reasoning
Mhm.
for it. Plus, I mean, to be frank, like
Right.
to make it timely, I wanted to have a clear-cut experience, and I wanted to define my play.
Yeah.
I chose handheld mode, and I put in the review, can play it on the TV, or if you want to play it on the TV, better off with these options. I should have thrown in a sentence like, if this only means playing it, buy it here, it's great. But I did not review the game. The game is amazing. I love Doom. I actually just started playing it again on PC.
Game great.
But I've been playing this other game on PC that
Good
is
transition.
a lot better than Doom, and a lot better than a lot of the games.
A lot better than Doom.
Yes, it is better
Like,
than
better
Doom.
than base Doom.
Better than Doom.
All right.
Better than Doom.
All right.
It is called Devil Daggers. It is fucking fantastic. I would unironically give it a 10 out of 10 because it is such a focused game. It is here. The game is, you play a guy, you play a hand, you play a disembodied hand essentially.
It's Glover,
And-
a sequel to Glover.
That's right.
And you pick up a weapon called the Devil Dagger.
Of course.
You are in the middle of an arena. It's a dark arena, and it's roughly a circle, and that's the whole game. And enemies spawn, and you have to kill them and survive. That's the whole
What
game.
is it, like a Flash game?
Res.
Okay. I just didn't know.
It kind of looks like a PS1. The textures are really great, but they're really gritty. They're low res.
Does it look like what was that game that came out earlier this year that had the awesome like commercial, but the game wasn't that good for it? Does it look like that?
Strafe?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's in that style, I would say.
Okay.
The art is a lot better.
Okay.
Enemy design is fantastic. Everything about the game is great. So essentially the way it works is every enemy makes a sound. You can hear enemies spawning, and you know exactly where they're spawning. I would highly recommend with headphones if you play it. You know where they're spawning in the arena. There are constantly enemies following you. There are little
Been there.
skulls that follow you that come out of spawners, and then there are big skulls with horns that chase you at random intervals, and they make this low, like, laughing sound. And if you don't kill them, they're
It's
faster
fucking
than you,
scary.
even when you're bunny hopping. The movement tech is incredible. You can bunny hop by just jumping and strafing to the side. It makes you go faster. You can shoot your little. You have a shotgun blast when you click the button, and you have a beam when you hold the button, the mouse button. And if you shoot at your feet with a shotgun blast and jump, you can kind of like hop a lot faster and a lot farther. You collect red gems, but you can only pick them up when you're not firing your gun. So you have to kind of time that. And when you pick up enough, you get upgrades to your weapon, like it shoots faster and it shoots more daggers. Eventually, you get like a homing attack. The record I've set for myself, and it's all about how long you can survive, is 259 seconds. I am in the top 3% in the world at Devil Deck.
Feel good about yourself?
I feel really good about myself. Thank you. I have a gold score. My nameplate is in gold. Our friend
Is that
Michael,
Nice.
he's at 100 seconds. His is bronze. I've got another friend that's 50 seconds. And the world record for Devil Daggers is 164 seconds, I think. And if you look at all of your replays are saved to the server, and you can watch them at any time. Watch any person on the leaderboards run from their perspective at any time, which is awesome. And it's just crazy. It's like this level of like synesthesia where like they just know what's going on from the sounds.
It's just on PC.
Yeah, it's on PC.
Could it be on Switch?
I wouldn't.
All right.
You need a mouse. You will get fucking.
I want to
toasted.
know. I want to know what the Switch prospects, dude.
It could run. It would just it's not for Switch because it definitely requires mouse.
Could I can touch it. I can touch it. Use a touch screen.
One thing that is coming to the Switch to get off that little tirade, but that game's fucking great. Definitely check it out. One of my favorite games.
Ever.
Crawl is coming to the Switch. Have you guys heard of Crawl?
I sang. We talked about it yesterday, and then I sang the Linkin Park song. You would do that again?
Oh yeah, Crawling in My Skin. No. Crawl is a game where you are a dungeon delving hero playing with your friends, and
I
when
played
one of you
Darkest
dies,
Dungeon.
No.
Oh god.
Action game. When one of you dies, you can control dungeon and the enemies in the dungeon, and you fight the hero. Those enemies or the boss. It's like 4-player local co-op only. I just want us to get all together and play it when it comes out. I wanted to try it, but I've never had. I don't have 4 friends.
You don't have friends
in real life right now to play it with.
Be the two of us.
Just the two.
That seems
of
like
us.
a good fit for Switch though, because sharing the shit, yeah.
And it should run fine.
Mm-hmm.
Last but not least, Cheyenne, you've been playing a little indie game too, right?
Yeah, just this. It's this little game, but it's been getting like a ton of support for a long time. It's called World of Warcraft.
Oh
Have you
wow,
heard of
okay,
it?
yeah. It's got low poly art and stuff like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I picked that up. I'm playing the starter edition.
You're
Probably
like
gonna.
done now.
Yeah, I reached level 20, so like I have to buy the game now, pretty much. So
Which you probably won't do.
yeah, well, we'll see.
All right.
All right.
I feel like it's not good at teaching new players though.
Well, not only that, but also like playing with you, who you've been playing it for what, like how many
10
years?
years.
Yeah, so like you've seen everything at the beginning, so like you're just like, all right, we're doing this, we're gonna do this, and like I have no idea what I did for all of those 20 levels. I have no clue what's going on in this world, what the quests I did were.
I asked if you wanted to read the quest, and you were like, "I don't care, no."
Yeah, well, because
seemed like you
the
just wanted
text
to
is
go,
really
no.
small and it's really long. And also I didn't want to make you like stand there while I was reading.
I don't.
Yeah,
care.
I know exactly what you're talking about. When somebody carries you through a game or something like that, it's not like I understand completely what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like like when you play Destiny for like the 5th time with somebody,
Yeah.
and like they're
Yeah,
like when we were
you
playing
just
with
kinda
Cody
wanna-
that one night, David. And
Mhm.
you just kind of like, all right, we.
You want to go and do the stuff you
But
don't
then
wanna sit.
you're like you at the same time you're like, well, I could sit here, but then they think they're holding you up, and it's like a whole fucking thing.
What?
I don't.
You know what I'm
get
saying?
you at all.
You guys all know what I'm
Oh.
saying.
No.
You could have just said. You could have just said yes.
I didn't hear a single
I
word,
wanted
and
to
then
let
I
it
hear
come
you guys
back.
know what I'm saying.
Oh God, I'm blurry. You guys could have just said yes and like could have moved
I'm
on.
sorry,
Anyway,
but no, I do
Totally
like.
agree.
I understand.
I'll
Like
edit
you've
that.
played this game so much, like it would be boring as hell. But I've literally never even seen enough of this game to know what's going on. So like it is kind of hard
We've
when it's like
barely
a
scratched.
zillion-year-old game. And like you're just starting out, and everybody else who's making like low-level characters are just like they've been playing for years. So
This is news to me, man. We'll slow down. I totally respect that you want to
It's
get
not
into the
news to
lore and
you.
stuff. You
when you shoved me into a dungeon, I'm like, what in the fuck is going on? And then I had to like roll need or greed, and I'm like, what the fuck is any of this shit? And then everybody just kept going on because they know what they're doing, and I stood there trying to figure out, okay, what do I press to get this item? And then I had to figure out how to get to the next boss or whatever. Because like it's a big windy, I have no idea where I'm going, but everyone already knows the routes because they've played it forever, so it's like really hard to get into.
all right? I don't blame you, man.
Like I want to, like I have interest in it. I would love to play it, but it's really hard when it's existed for so long, and the player base right now is just people that have been playing it forever and
Oh,
know it
Aaron's-
in and out.
Aaron's down to play today. He said if you want to hop on.
You should.
Yeah, I mean,
jump on
I
the
want to
vanilla
give it a
server.
try. I like it. It is fun. I could see myself spending hours and hours and hours in it, which is terrible.
Yeah,
But
that's not so bad. Good game.
That's horrible.
Good game. I like it. I've always liked
I like it. It's just hard to play it with you guys and in general
We'll
because
slow down,
everybody
dude, it's
knows it in
fine.
and out.
it. Sorry you felt that way. I should have been a simple production. Yeah, I get it though.
Yeah.
Said it.
Right.
Well, we're a young podcast, but we are set in our ways, and that means we're gonna have to end right now. Look at that transition.
Oh,
you guys understand
that
me?
was really good. Good
Oh
job.
damn! I thought you all are looking like blankly, and I thought like you guys couldn't hear me again. I was like, fuck.
No, it
I
was
thought
just
that's just how
silly.
you were gonna end it. You're just like, and now we have to end right now.
right now.
No, but this has been the Current Gaming Podcast, episode 27. Drew Scheffler. Where can people find you on the social medias? What do you got going
All
on?
social media is at Trophy Pops.
Cool. Cheyenne.
I'm on Twitter at poopflowers.
You can see her. David.
My guy Dave on Twitter. I'm very somewhat active.
Are you very
I like
fun?
content a lot.
Yeah.
Same.
I like a lot of posts.
I
Did you
like
say you
a lot
like
of
Compton a lot?
I like
Compton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compton. He likes that song. It's the last track from Good Kid, Mad City. It's a big,
That is
big old god named Toronto. Well, this has been the Current Gaming Podcast, episode 27. My name is Charles Blade. You can find me on Twitter at Charles. You can find me on Twitter at Charles Tula, and fuck Louis C.K. Bye.